Hi, I'm here to share some tips about budgeting whilst at university. I graduated this year myself, so these are the tips that helped me without working whilst I was studying. I know that the cost of living when you move out can definitely be a shock to the system, or the things you have to pay for that you didn't even think about beforehand. So we thought we'd put this little video together to give some of you a hand. Now, when you see your student loan drop on your bank account, it's easy to think you've got all of this money, but please do not go and spend all that money in the first week because you will need it later. So the first thing you're going to want to do is work out how many months rent and other essential bills that this payment is going to cover compared to how many months it needs to cover. For example, I would just take the payment and divide it by my rent, and it would say I had 5 months rent, but I might only desperately need 4. So this 5 months rent is what can be used on food, other essentials, and your disposable income. So with this leftover money, divide it by the number of months that you have until your next payment, or number of weeks if you want a weekly budget. If you roughly know how much you spend on food each week, subtract that from it as well, and then you'll end up with your disposable income that you can spend on things like takeaways and nights out and shopping. That's what I spent my money on. Having a planned budget like this really helped me, so I knew that actually I can't really afford a takeaway this week because it's not really within my budget. A lot of you have an overdraft. Try not to think of it as free money, because when that money comes in, you still have to pay it off. So I always avoided my overdraft and just try to use the money that I had. Try and plan out your food shop as much as possible. I saw some of my friends waste so much money because they just go to the corner shop a few days a week, and it's so much more expensive to do it that way. I would always plan out my shops. I'd write a list and I'd go to Lidl or Aldi, wherever was cheapest, and I'd stick to the list. I tend to buy the same things kind of every week. I still do, which made this a lot easier, but it meant that if I had my meals planned out, then I was less likely to go get a takeaway or go to the corner shop and buy things that I just didn't really need. I made extra money at university by selling clothes that I didn't need, books that I didn't need. You can use loads of different apps for this, and it's more sustainable as well. And that's how I made money alongside studying. But I hope these tips helped.